Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to populate interfaces to Netbox. What we will do, we are backing up config files from Cisco devices and save them to local disk. After that we get all parameters from Cisco config like name of interfaces, descriptions, type of devices, IP addresses, and we'll add new interface to Netbox with these parameters. And finally I show you a function that can update interface parameters in Netbox if it has any changes. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and Telegram channel. Let's go ahead and get started. At first I want to show you my infrastructure, my Netbox parameters with devices. First step, I pointed that my device have to resolve. It is necessary for the next video, but you can do some DNS settings. In my case, I add my devices and IPs to host file for resolving. Open your host file. For this purpose, you have to pick your folder Windows C, Windows System 32, drivers, etc. And here in the RIS file hosts, open in your editor. As you can see my devices, and now I have ping. Let's write a code that will be able to get Cisco config to local store. At first, import all necessary modules. Import Paramika. Paramika allows us to connect to our devices through SSH protocol. Now I write connection string for our Paramika. It's a username to our Cisco devices. Cisco password. Cisco port 22. Let's define parameter path to folder that will be contain Cisco config files and file devices.txt with list of IPs our devices. Now let's create folder ctemp conf folder, and here you are, add IPs of your devices. Let's save in this folder, name devices.txt. Let's have a look in my infrastructure. Now open file device.txt in read mode with function open. And now I create a loop. Loop allows us get one IP from list and pass it to Paramika for a SSH connection. Enter to enable mode and do show run command, and the last create path with file cfg extension and save it in our folder. Let's do it and check our result. Second config, as you can see, third and last config, and it will be done. Open our file. As you can see, our config file is saving to local store. And now I have opportunity to parse these files, interfaces and descriptions, so on, whatever you want. Let's create new file and write code into it that allows us to parse interface parameters from Cisco config files. I have already installed module Cisco conf parse. This module has a regular expression for parsing items of Cisco config, like interface name, description, etc. I show you documentation page, how to install it. Okay, let's go ahead and start to code. It is my main and entry point function called getInterfaces and descriptions. Also, this function will be parsing config file and make dictionary with interface parameter. Go to documentation site with description of Cisco conf parse module and copy some code. There are two parameters. The first parameter points to your config file. The second parameter shows what syntax of config file. In my case, iOS operation system. Let's make change. Go to website and copy piece of code from example of Cisco conf parse. Go to Visual Studio Code. Input path to config file. Use open function. Read file line by line. Let's save and start to test it. Let's check. As you can see, you have two interfaces that have shutdown state. Let's change our code to define all our interfaces. As you can see in front of you, all our interfaces from Cisco config. In this piece of code, you can define your IP addresses. With next piece of code, you can define descriptions. See it. Now you define what is interface mode do you have, access or trunk. And next you define type of interface, 10 gigabits, 40 gigabits, and so on, so on. I have only virtual because I have Ethernet. And the last you define disabled interface or not. I have to add some code for define shutdown or not. And now, as you can see, interface enabled, it's not shut down, and disabled when shut down your port. Let's define device name. O.22. Add to my function as second parameter. Now I'm creating new file. In this file I will be creating new function with post parameters. In order to create interface in Netbox, you have to send HTTP POST request to Netbox API. Now I want to show you how you can find which parameters you need for POST request to Netbox and create interfaces. Okay, find interfaces, post. It is demo netbox.dev site, and parameters with red asterisk are required parameters, in other case optional parameter. I show you which parameter I will choose. Now these parameters I paste in my function called post interface. This function will be create new interface, only new. Now define in request URL and import requests module. Let's find how work with request module. Copy this string to our code. Change to my variables device name. Paste device name variable and paste nb URL variable. Now define these variables. Copy. I'll show you how to find parameters for post request to Netbox. Copy string and paste my code. Also I paste dictionary with my parameters. It is data for post request. Let's set up our parameters and variables in request posts. For post request you have to define headers. Let's define it. Headers equal. I copy that. Define API token for headers for authorization in Netbox API. I show you when you can get it. Go to our Netbox, admin, click, and here you see token, click, and as you can see here our token. Please copy it and paste to our headers as API token. Define data in JSON format. And pass it interface parameter. And let's print. Let's define just for test our name, our variables, name on interface, all parameters defined. Let's execute our function. and see what happened. We are not define device ID in this case. I have to use not device name, I have to use device ID. For this purposes, I want to write a new function that converts your device name to device ID. Copy this request. I will use this URL. Here we define get request for our device name, and it returns us JSON format with all parameters for specific device. Let's check. In order to check request devices function, I'm gonna comment post interfaces function. Okay, something goes wrong. Let's do it again. Reporting line. I forgot printing out of our result. Command print and ID as parameter. Let's go ahead and check. As you can see, 17, our device name is R1 and result is ID. Let's increment our preceded block of code and try to post request again. Define here this function, convert device name to device ID. Okay, save and try. As you can see, my result is output here. Refresh web page. Interface ZeroNet1 is created, as you can see. Let's check parameters. If it was created, all parameters was created successfully. Good job. Let's import all functions from file interface in netbox.py. In the end of the main function, I define post interface function. Here you define all device name, all parameters, and post. Let's check it. Okay, I have some error. Let's see what happened. Here I miss device name parameter. Let's save and check it again. We have added all interfaces with parameters. These parameters have been taken from config file. And now, when I run the second time post request, I have got an error is full device must be unique. In this case, I will create new function that allows us to update existing parameters of interfaces. Define update interface with the same parameters, device name and name interface, description, type of interface, and the same dictionary with parameters. Also I added the same function for define ID device. With this line we define interface object with get request and all his parameters in Netbox. Add to our function, change name of interface and define interface as object. See why we have to choose this interface object and how we can update with Netbox module. Here I found for tenant, but it's the same for as in interface, for interface, dictionary update and function update. Let's copy it to our function this strings rt2 interface object, set here update and the necessary parameters, copy. Okay, save. Function completed. Let's copy and define in main file update. Okay, now we have post and update interface. Let's check update function, how it works. When interface is absent, I'm getting error, attribute error. Let's add to try and accept handle. In my case, I have a special character at the end of interface name /n, and in order to remove the special character, I use the function error_stream. Now my interface name defined correctly. Okay, let's get started and check some changes. All works properly. It's good. As you can see, my description have changed. My function update is work properly. Let's check again. Delete one of my interface and start again. And I haven't any error. My interface was created and description was changed. Two functions work properly. Let's try it again. This description especially for you. Let's make some changes in config file of Cisco. For example, change description special for you as well. Let's save and check it again. Watch our result in Netbox. Description changed. Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.